like my kids are at that age, right? Like I have kids in that age. And when I think about if my daughter came home, even now, my 23-year-old, and told me she was with a 30-something-year-old man, I'm going to already, you know, be on like the defense. Like what? Like that's predatory behavior. And it's so accepted in this industry. It's a lot of y'all that are my age and you're playing in a sandbox, and I need you to get out of the sandbox. Look, I know they like the arm candy and all of that,
but they also
that's
prey
predatory
and groom.
behavior. All right, you talking to a child. These women are your daughter's ages. Like, what are y'all really doing out here? Like, are you that visually stimulated? And then I don't know. It's very predatory to me.
Yeah.
Right, to think about grooming someone at such a tender age.
So I wonder if people will now go back and read the complaint and read it through a different lens.
Now of course. Now they're gonna believe everything. Like, oh my God, can you believe that?
Right. Now that the video is out, would you go back and look at this document through a different lens?
Right. It's right. They need to. They need to.
Because now.
And look at them other videos of all them other women talking about all them other men. Anyway, so
yeah,
because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of them.
And that's why we create a trigger warning, because we're here to tell the truth.
Right. And I think that, we see these posts on the Shade Room. We see people getting accused, Again, everyone has their side to the story. These are allegations. But a lot of times we see proof in whether it's videos or just like enough evidence or enough testimony from other people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, weigh that into your critical thinking, right? If 5 women said he beat them, guess what? He probably beat them.
And who's covering it up?
Right. And why are you okay with that?
And who's enabling the behavior?
Right.
Because when I go back to the R. Kelly situation, there were so many people that should have went to jail.
Right.
I'm just like, from the lawyer who went and dropped the money bag off to the manager to this, like, there were so many people that enabled this behavior. That's why I'm so proud of women who stand up for themselves no matter how difficult it is. Yeah. That's why I'm so proud of Megan Thee Stallion for fighting back no matter how hard this industry was on her.
Yeah, it was hard for her.
It was hard for her. And it's like, she standing on business.
Yeah, she did. She did. And the charges, to me, when they first even charged him with that stuff in that case, was like, I'm like, he's going to get convicted because the charges were, but people don't read the case law, or not even the case law, but people don't read. Like, they just
think about the security guard that came out recently on Instagram and said that, Kim Porter suffered the same abuse.
Was that recently, or did it just... Because I think he did
again.
that.
He came out before, then he came out again after the video was released. And he claimed that Puff broke her nose and all of these things. And, obviously, we haven't seen any evidence or videos to support, what he is saying. Obviously, we know now more than ever that he has potential to be a violent person. He is violent. But imagine what Kim Porter must have suffered in silence.
It was actually reported that, I believe they said, matter of fact, in the book that I read, he said that there were British tabloids that reported on that story, right? Because they were in Saint-Tropez when it happened. So they reported on the story, and there was apparently there was things said about how she tripped and hit her nose on a table. When you get that type of information as a reporter, at least you're like, this sound like a lie. And that that there's PR people that are trying to spin it, but again, like if you're sniffing around and you find something like that, you're going to at least know that there might be a little bit of truth to what's going on. And to piggyback off of what you said about the security, if I'm just wondering if you was the security and she was getting beat, why, like, I guess you're not securing her. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how
you got to go into these relationships with your own security, ladies.
That's what I'm saying. How many people enable that? The security people, the managers, the lawyers, the money, the brown paper bag guy. Right. How many people enabled this and covered all of this stuff up?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're the security guy, I don't want to hear from you after the fact. Did you call the police?
Right. What was you doing back then? Right.
Did you call the police?
Because it's easier to talk, obviously, when you're not on the payroll.
Right.
So I think a lot of people just kind of put their heads down. And look, and I don't want to knock nobody. Everybody's like, look, sometimes people are like, that's not my responsibility. I got my own shit going on. Like, I can't. But if you're a witness to it and you're seeing it, especially if you're speaking out against it now, right? Like, why wouldn't you have done something to help? I mean, I guess, like, it's human nature sometimes. Like, people, not everybody has that empathy in them to want to really help somebody who's going through a tough situation.
And some people feel like, oh, if I step in, it's not going to do nothing anyway.
Right. She's still going to be with him. That's the other thing they say. Oh, she's still going to be with him, or they'll. There's so many ways people like to mind their business when it comes, selectively mind their business, right? Like, I'm minding my business. That don't have nothing to do with me, right? But then when everybody else kind of wants to drag that person down, then it's like, I knew that. This is disgusting behavior. Oh, my God, can you believe it? Well, yeah, because they've been, I believe it because they've been saying it for this amount of years. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, where do we go from here? Like, what are we supposed to do?
Like I said, you can never escape yourself. Like, Father Time will always catch up with you. You can hide, you can cover, you can pay things off. Yep. You can do all the things that you want to do, but you cannot escape yourself if you don't stop the behaviors. You think you're getting away with it now because you haven't get caught. It's years that went by. It's blah, 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 blah. But eventually, it's going to catch up to you. And if it's not you, your children, your children's children. You know what I'm saying?
I do feel bad for his kids.
I do, and I
do feel bad for his kids. Like, his girls, like when they, and Shade Room, y'all was being messy, putting the prom pictures up.
And listen,
they looked beautiful. It's like, damn.
I love his son, King Combs. I have a great relationship with him. And I am saddened that they have to
hear all this and go through that.
Yeah, I'm very saddened. But I hope that they get the therapy that they need to heal as a family.
It's hard. I can imagine, especially going through after losing their mom.
Yeah.
But so it's a lot.
I can also separate the two and grieve for the children.
Right.
While also
holding him accountable. 100%. Yeah. 100%. Especially because it becomes, again, about the power and the control. And, a lot of men just so consumed with having power that they think they can do whatever they want to do.